Hi folks, welcome to Revision. Today I'm going to show you an easy ancient orc motif farm along with a Briarheart weapon and armor farm all in the same area. So in order to do this farm, you can either do it in two places. You can do it in the public dungeon of Rekindle Lift, or you can do it in the old Orsinium public dungeon. Now, for the ancient orc motif, they split up the pieces so that you have to farm both these public dungeons in order to get the full set. For the purpose of this video, I'm only going to show you the area farm located in Rekindlelith, because you get it the pieces here a lot easier if you know how to go about farming it. So let's get started. Now, for the public dungeon boss, when you come in, there will be a first one right over here in this location. This farm doesn't focus on the first floor. This is just the first floor. We're going to go to the outside area, and I'm going to show you an easier route where you can go back and forth from one public dungeon boss to another, and it pretty much goes within the time frame of 3 minutes, so it takes into effect the cooldown mode, so you don't have to wait forever for the boss to spawn. It's usually as you go along. All right, so let's get started with this farm. Now you can modify the farm also in any way you see fit. I'm just going to show you what I do, and then you can improvise it from there and decide if you like it better your way or if you like it better my way. But I go on top of here so I can cut through all the enemies so I don't have to fight them. And right around here, I believe is another public dungeon boss. But he's not there, so we're going to move on. Now, it can be confusing because it all kind of blends in, all the background, but you have to go to the hidden area, which is right back here. So ignore all this, and you're going to go to the upper area here. Now, if you look up ahead, you see that waterfall, and you see kind of a little cave on the inside. That's the first public dungeon boss you want to farm. And there he is. So we're going to hack away at it. Now, to get the ancient orc motif farm, you have to either kill a public dungeon boss or you have to defeat a bunch of enemies. Now, I've never gotten it by defeating a bunch of enemies, so for all intentional purposes, I'm going to say just go with the public dungeon bosses to be on the safe side. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. And the spawning rate of the motif is better on the public dungeon bosses as opposed to the enemies. But like I said, I've never gotten the motif from just killing a random enemy. Okay, now we're going to go up to the second part here. And you're going to ignore a lot of these enemies and just run past them. You don't want to waste time. You can see the herds coming. Now, if you want to avoid almost all the enemies, what I like to do is I go around this little thing here. This way they don't aggro. And it limits my fighting. As you can see, some people are doing it here. And this is the next one that I come across. Now you got 3 of them here, and it can be kind of tricky and difficult if you're not a high enough level. So what I like to do is I take them out one at a time. But you got to be quick because the one is pretty powerful and it will kill you quite easily. They can be a little bit tricky. But there's 3 of them on this top side. See how fast it takes down your health. But once you isolate them, then you just got the one to go. Wandering Illa, that's the harder one of the 3 bosses. But there you have it. You get Briarheart stuff, and occasionally you get the Ancient Orc Motif. Now, after you defeat those 2, you want to go back to the starting point, and the starting point is going to be that little cave by the waterfall. So, to take the quick way down, you're going to want to find the waterfall. And it's right over here. And you can usually jump down there and be safe, usually. Just make sure you hit the water, and then you're fine. And then there's the little path. And then inside, there will usually, within a minute or 2, it'll spawn back up, and then you rinse and repeat. So basically, this is a great farm for killing public dungeon bosses. Now, you could do an extended version where you do the whole entire cave and then come back around, but the problem I find with that is the spawning rates then start getting weird, and sometimes you either go too fast or too slow. So, I like to go back and forth between the lower level and the upper level and kill just these 2 bosses and focus on them, and then makes it a lot easier for me. But that's how you get the some of the pieces of the ancient orc motif and some of the Briarheart weapons and armor. The Briarheart weapons and armor, depending on how it does on the market. Probably the weapons do a lot better than the armor pieces. And as for the motifs, you get mostly the armor pieces by doing this particular public dungeon. Not You won't get all the pieces, but you get some of them. The chest one I have found in the past, but they might have changed the location to the other public dungeon with all the updates. But, if you find the chest in here, let me know. All right, folks. So that concludes my Ancient Orc Motif farm and Briarhood farm. If you like this video, please hit the like button and become a subscriber. I put out videos on Elder Scrolls Online each and every week, and I'll see you next time.